So welcome back. Right now what we are going to be doing is we have these two parts together now. So the next thing we'll be doing right now is joining them, the back. I will be joining the center back now. I'll be joining the center back, sewing the center back seam. You can see this that I'm doing right now. So I'm going to take this to the machine and sew in a half of an inch right to this point. You may want to pin it in place and then before sewing. So that is one thing we want to quickly go and do now before we proceed. So right now, as you can see, I have sewn this and then pressed the seam open. And then once I do that, the next thing I'm going to have to do is also sew the lining in place too. Then how do we sew the lining in place? That may want to be a little bit, maybe a bit tricky. But then let's do it anyways. So you can see, now that we have it this way, what you want to do is you want to fold this edge like this, and then flip your one part of the lining this way. I just hope someone is seeing what I'm doing. And then you want to flip the other side as well, and then flip this. So you want both this point, you want this point and this point to meet, right side facing. So that means you're going to have to, you see what I did here? Actually that may be a little bit big. So you see, this is more like having all my this thing inside. So I will just go ahead and sew in my allowance right here too. So you can see that. Let me go ahead and sew that. So as you can see right now, I've taken it to the machine and sewn. So what I'm going to do is just flip it right to the other side, as you can see. And then I have my distance sewn already. Yeah. So you can see what I have right here. You can see what I have right here. So if you see this, you notice the back is, both the lining and this stuff is done. So what you want to do is you want to press this side open as well. And how do you press that open? What you do is you just flip this over like this, and then from here you can place your iron and press it all through till you get to the lower part. So I'll quickly do that now, and then we'll come back to the next thing. So right now I've pressed that open, and the next thing we want to do right now is flip it to the right side, and then we will be sewing our neck. We will be sewing our shoulder. So we'll be joining the shoulder. Remember, I added 1 inch of ease to the shoulder. So what you want to do is flip this right over onto the back part, just like this, and then you have to remove this, this thing that we did. You have to remove the chest padding out of the way, and then you'll be sewing. You see, you have to be sewing 1 inch on the shoulder, and then you repeat the same thing for the other side. So I'm going to be having to sew 1 inch right here now, as you can see, and then right at the other side. So let's quickly do that and come back. Right now, as you can see, I have taken my distance to the sewing my this, what do we call it, the shoulder, and then I've taken this to the iron and pressed it. So let's see. Now that we've sewn the back part, the shoulder line, we are going to have to sew the shoulder line of the distance too, of the lining. So but if we are going to sew the shoulder line of the lining, what we need to do is make sure this place is matching. So I'm going to be putting this thing here. Originally we should baste that place in place. So once I'm sure that place is matching, the next thing I want to do is flip my distance over. You can see what I did here. This is the chest padding that I am not sewing. So I just flip this on top of this and then flip this one also over. This is what I want to do. So I want to like fold this like this. I don't want any issue with it whatsoever actually. So once I'm sure this is in line with this, I don't know if you are seeing that. Well, I'm sure it is in line. The next thing I want to do is just, fold this over it like this. And then I would be pasting this point right in place. Or I can simply, how do I call it? I can simply iron this place so that I will have this folded, and then the other edge I'll have to like mark it. Let me do that. Okay, now that I have this like this, the lower part I can just mark that with my pencil, and this will make me know precisely where I have to sew, if I have to sew. But originally what I do with what I do with my shoulder for the lining is I sew it by hand, and it has always been cool. But well, maybe that might be too heavy for somebody to do. So once I have marked this point at the lower point, what I want to do is make sure I have this crease here. You can see. So I may take this to the iron and press this so that that fold line will show when I'm about to sew. Okay, I have pressed this right now. You can see. So I have my crease. I have my crease line, and that is what I am going to have to. Sorry, a little mistake right here. So this crease that I have right now, this line that I already have. So one thing I'm just going to have to do is, you can see from this very edge, you flip this up like this, and then that will make you know exactly. So you can just bring this other one inside. You can see, making sure both the lining and the this thing are facing right side facing. So you can see that, and then you sew. So how do you get the guidelines? I already drew the lines I'm going to be sewing right here. I don't know if you're seeing this, but you can see, you can see it. It's faint, but that will give you a guideline, and you make sure that this crease line is aligning with that point I marked with pencil. And then we just take that to the machine and sew. So right now I have sewn my distance. You can see I have sewn my lining, and I'm just going to go ahead and press it, take it to the iron and press it open. So we repeat the same process for the other side, and then we've sewn our our lining. So right now you can see what I've done here, and then when I flip it over to the other side, you can see that as well. So I have my lining piece sewn together. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this other side, and then I will say we are through with the body. So let me do that and put it on so that we can see what it looks like on me. Actually, it's mine. It's not for the mannequin this time around, because the mannequin is bigger than I am. So I'm going to be the mannequin now.